All right, what's up, guys? So last time I told you guys about the lady that I used to see, but this time I want to kind of tell you guys a little more about the house that I used to live in. I moved in there, or we moved in there when I was about, I want to say about six, um, and I think for the first couple years, like everything was fine, nothing really happened, and then all of a sudden, I remember the first time that like something happened. We were we were all in the living room. My stepdad was at work, and we were just being kids, playing, messing around. My mom was sitting there reading, and next thing you know, we heard a loud bang on the roof or the attic or whatever. And we're listening, and after we hear the loud bang, we start to hear walking. Like you could actually, it wasn't like in the same place. It was like walking around, and we immediately thought like somebody was, you know, on the roof or in the attic, and so we go outside to go look on the roof to see if anyone's there, and the the walking is still going on in the inside. Apparently, um, my sister and my mom were inside still, I think, and so we hear that, and so it keeps happening, and my mom just tells us, we literally all sat in the living room, like huddled next to her until my stepdad got home. Um, but it had stopped shortly after we went back in. We were still freaked out, so we just sat there with my mom, and that was like the first time that it like happened, I guess. And then after that, it became a little more aggressive. You would hear like a loud bang, and it almost like someone fell and was being dragged. And I mean, we've looked in the attic. Nothing was there on the roof. Nothing was up there. So what it was, we don't know. But you could literally, there were times where it would happen, and all of a sudden, I don't know if anyone's ever lived above someone, in an apartment. You can hear them walking around. Well, that's how it was, and you could hear on the roof somebody walking, and you can actually follow the footsteps. So it would I would hear it in the room, and then we would follow it all the way to the laundry room, and it was like that was like all the time. Um, that happened a lot, at least. I mean, it just happened out of nowhere too. We'd be sitting there, and all of a sudden it would just happen. So that happened a lot. And then we started to hear like voices. We would hear like my mom's voice calling our name, and it would be my mom's voice. And sometimes, when this thing would happen, like nobody would be there. But the first time that we heard a voice get called, or a voice, it was my mom's voice. Me and my brother were sitting there, and my sister was on the couch. She was reading, and me and my brother were playing a Nintendo. And we hear our names get called, both of them. Both of our names get called, mine and my brother's name. Excuse me. And we hear, come here. Well, first we hear our names, and then we hear, come here. And we look at each other, and it like felt kind of like weird. It was like a weird like you just knew it wasn't normal. But it was my mom's voice though. This is how we heard it. It was our mom's voice. And me and my brother looked at each other, and then we looked back at my sister, and my sister was like smiling at us because she's like, you guys are in trouble. And so me and my brother get up, and we go trying to talk to my mom. Well, she's all the way in her room. But when we heard it, it sounded like it was right behind us. And when we went to go ask my mom, she's sitting there reading her book, and she's like, I didn't call you guys. And we're telling her, yes, you did, mom. Like, you called us. She's telling us she didn't, and we're telling her she did. Till finally, she's like, you know what? She gets mad and shoos us away. That was the first time that it happened. Happened to my mom too, where we were all at school. She went to go get groceries. She came back home, and as she's putting the groceries away, she hears down the hallway, like in one of the rooms, she hears mom, but it sounded like my brother. And she's like, what? You know, and nothing after that. So she just kept doing what she was doing. And then she hears it again, mom, and it sounded like, a little closer, like in the hallway type area. And, she's like, what? And she said that at that point, she like realized, like, wait, they're supposed to be in school. And she's like, maybe they came home early or something. And as soon as like she thought that, she ended up hearing it right next to her again, real loud, mom. And she immediately put everything down she was doing and walked outside. And she waited there until my stepdad got home. But so the voices, and it's not like one of us heard it. It was, multiple people would hear it at once. Something weird was going on in the house. I really don't know what, but it's not normal. Like what we experience, it's not like a normal, oh, I seen something, or I heard something. It's like a lot of things. The faucet would turn by itself and turn on. The electrical stuff, the dishwasher, the actual washer machine, the all those things, they would turn on, like sometimes at once. And you could, chalk that up. Any electrical appliances, you can think maybe, some kind of electrical surge or something. But the faucet would turn on with it. And the faucet you had to actually turn. It wasn't electrical, so that one's hard to explain away. A lot of footsteps. My mom and my stepdad at night, they would hear what sounded like a little girl crying. And my stepdad was like, he was like, he didn't really experience any of that either. So he was kind of like, what's going on. But at night, my mom said that they would hear what sounded like two voices, like whispering to each other. And she thought that maybe me and my brother were up talking to each other. And but I mean, it wouldn't be us. They would go in a room and we'd be dead asleep. And so those type of things are hard to explain. All the people that live with us, they all talked about seeing like some kind of like dark mass in the middle of the night. Like they'd get up, use the restroom. Like, I don't know how many people talked about that. Like things started to get moved around, which was weird. We had another family that stayed with us. They had like these little toy cars, and these toy cars would move left and right. They would move back and forth. And at first they noticed like it wasn't in the same place, because they were like they weren't like kid cars. They were like cars that that were like display, I guess. And until that she actually seen it with her own eyes doing that. In the back house we had this little like shed. Excuse me, by the way. We had this, like, it wasn't like a shed, it was like an extra room, I guess. And a lot of people stayed there too. And we've had people move out because they were constantly being messed with back there. They would hear like knocking at the door, and they would answer and nobody would be there. And when this one guy specifically, that would happen to him, and to the point where he would literally stand by the door, wait for the knock, and open it immediately, and nobody would be there. And that very next day, he came to mom. He's like, no, I can't stay here, and he ended up leaving. So lots of little things like that. Lots of different things that, I mean, I'm gonna try and make different videos about like different experiences. So I don't want to give everything away in this video. So right now I just wanted to cover the house. I don't know the history of it. I don't know what happened before we moved in. I really don't. There are some people living there now. It was vacant for like a good, I don't know, 8 years. No, literally nobody lived there. And when it was vacant, I would drive by sometimes just to pass by it and see it, or visiting a friend or something. And every time I passed it, it always felt like somebody was like staring at me. There was just, like this weird connection to the house that I can't explain. It was like, I don't know, but it always felt like somebody was staring at me when I was passing by. Now though, the family does live there, and I would love to go back and talk to them and ask them if they've experienced anything there. But they have this huge Virgin Mary shrine outside of their house, so I'm wondering if something happened. I've got lots of other things I could tell you guys, so like I said, I don't want to give it all away I don't want to give too much of it away. I want to do a different, series of vlogs or something. But yeah, so until next time.